everyone, Gaijin Goombah here, and welcome back to Culture Shock. We break down your favorite games and anime and discover the culture that inspired them. And no, I can't do it. No, stop. Lil G, what are we doing?
Oh, come on, dude, you used to love doing these videos.
Yeah, that was before Blizzard kowtowed to esports and sucked all the fun out of the game. Back when the Overwatch world felt alive, like there was a story going on. Back when you could just play a character for fun. Now it's just tryhard screaming in my ear in casual matches, and I'm just... Besides, we agreed that the Witch Ninja on Genji was going to be the last video of this accursed franchise, so what the heck happened to that?
Look, I get what you mean. Overwatch has gone from a title of strong characters, new styles of play, and really dumb fun to one of the worst professional slogs and hypercritical competitive communities in gaming today. But you have to admit, when Overwatch rolls out new characters and skins, there's a lot that goes into them. Okay, most of the time. And just like last year and the year before, Overwatch has dished out some dynamite Lunar New Year skins this time around.
I suppose you're right. Despite my gripes with the game, Overwatch still does give us the opportunity to shed some light on some really great East Asian culture. Alright, we'll do one more, but after this, unless Overwatch miraculously announces a core PvE system, I'm freaking done.
Good. So,
and I'm only doing this under the condition people understand that I have never had a strong grasp on Chinese. Even if I did, the fact that it's a tone-based language makes it really hard to use accurately within plainly spoken English.
So, where the big theme 2 years back was a focus on Journey to the West, and last year's theme highlighted the Chinese Celestial Guardians, this year puts a heavy focus on characters from China's greatest historic novel, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a 14th century masterpiece melding fiction and history during the division of China between the states of Wu, Wei, and Shu.
That being said though, the book itself focuses more on the time period's major players, especially Liu Bei and what made up his 5 tiger generals, of which Overwatch draws its inspiration from. But for me, being the overanalyst that I am, I was left wondering, why these characters for these skins? What's the connection? And is there a connection? So for today, let's go down these 5 and figure out if Blizzard really did do their historical homework, or if the Year of the Beard is little more than Overwatch running out of New Year's ideas. Starting with the first one announced to the public, Reaper as the red hair himself, Liu Bei. This guy was a bastard. Oh, he was a fantastic warrior, don't get me wrong. In fact, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms classifies Liu Bei as the mightiest warrior of his time. But I kid you not, Liu Bei was such a brutal, megalomaniacal monster that he would have made Oda Nobunaga blush. This guy betrayed, quite literally, everyone he ever allied with. No, for real, let's go down the list. Liu Bei started off as a subordinate to Ding Yuan, but eventually betrayed him for another warlord, Dong Shuo, around 190 AD. In 192, he betrayed Zhou and killed him for Guan Yu and Shi Sun Rui, who were eventually ousted themselves by the remaining forces of Zhou. Then between 192 and 195, Liu Bei served under Yuan Shu, then Yuan Shao, and then Zhang Yang, eventually walking out on all 3. Then in only 1 year's time, Liu Bei betrayed another warlord, the famous Liu Bei, who actually gave him a place to hide out in Shu province, only for Liu Bei to assert power there. In 199, however, Liu Bei was finally put down by the combined forces of Liu Bei's warriors and the armies of Cao Cao during the Battle of Sha-Pei, where Liu Bei was captured and executed. Yeah, like I said, this guy had zero loyalty and was basically the biggest egotistical megalomaniac China had seen for quite some time. And when you compare Liu Bei's story with the story of Reaper, whose skin was inspired by him, yeah, this was a no-brainer of a choice. Reaper has always been a beast of a fighter, but it's his origin story that lines him up almost completely parallel to Liu Bei. Before he was Reaper, Gabriel Reyes led a hidden uprising against the global peacekeeping organization Overwatch, betraying his closest friend and head of Overwatch's administration, Jack Morrison. And ever since, he's been stabbing backs on behalf of Talon, much in the same way that Liu Bei had constantly been betraying his allies, especially Liu Bei, who offered him shelter.
Wait, so are you saying that Jack Morrison, aka Soldier 76, is Liu Bei?
Well, let's keep going down the list and see if that connection makes its mark. Following up with the moral antithesis of Liu Bei, Guan Yu, as played by Reinhardt. Much like Liu Bei, Guan Yu was an indispensable warrior, pulling the military weight of hundreds if not thousands of men. In the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, for example, it was said that Guan Yu could, quote, cleave an army of thousands with ease.
It was also said that he was known as Chudan, or Beautiful Beard. But all things considered, I think everyone in this event has that market cornered.
But Guan Yu's claim to fame was not only his strength and skill, but his loyalty. Despite not having the best military record and having a strong flair of arrogance to him, Guan Yu was a champion whose honor could not be questioned. Alongside his other brother-in-arms, Zhang Fei, Guan Yu became an oath brother to Liu Bei, and together, the three made a pledge to fight for a stronger, more peaceful and righteous China. And that brotherhood held strong even when death was certain. During the conflicts of the Three Kingdoms, Guan Yu was captured by one of their great rivals, Cao Cao, Chancellor of the Han Dynasty. This was at a time when Liu Bei was lost and no one was sure if they would ever see him again. So Guan Yu agreed to fight for Cao Cao under the term that should his oath brother resurface, he would return to him. And that's exactly what happened. Liu Bei returned and immediately Guan Yu went to his side. But Guan Yu's loyalty and honor doesn't end there, because after a final battle between Cao Cao's forces and Guan Yu's army under Liu Bei, Guan Yu actually released Cao Cao from harm. In a weird sort of way, he was honoring both of his masters. Since his death, Guan Yu's life and legacy has elevated him to literal godhood, becoming Guan Di, the deity of brotherhood, righteousness, strength, and justice, a champion of the downtrodden.
That can't possibly be any more Reinhardt. The man's a walking stereotype of chivalry, constantly shouting about justice and honor, but to be fair, he lives it. Despite the fact that Reinhardt does have a bit of an arrogant streak to him, just like Guan Yu, he's always putting himself in the literal line of fire to protect those who can't protect themselves. And just like how Guan Yu immediately returned to his oath brother Liu Bei when he resurfaced, Reinhardt gave no second thought when it came to his return to Overwatch when Winston recommissioned the organization in secret. Man, Jack really is the Liu Bei of this whole thing, isn't he?
Well, we're only really halfway done. Next up, we gotta break down Hanzo's skin, which was inspired by another of Liu Bei's 5 tiger generals and master archer, Huang Zhong. Though unlike Guan Yu, it actually took some time for him to join up with Liu Bei. Originally, Huang Zhong served under Liu Bei, governor of Jin province, until he lost, then served Han Zhen till he lost, then finally joined up with Liu Bei. Regardless, Huang Zhong was an amazing warrior in general. During the campaign of the Yi province, Huang apparently was the first to climb and assault any enemy wall, and the first to attack any enemy ranks. But Huang Zhong was no fool. In the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, he was celebrated as an archer who had never missed a single mark. And despite being a man in his 60s, he had never lost his energy and capacity of his youth.
Alright, a lot of these connections are pretty obvious, but some of them seem way too real to be an accident. I mean, sure, it would make all the sense in the world to make Hanzo based after the greatest archer in the Three Kingdoms, and yeah, both Hanzo and Huang Zhong were getting a little long in the tooth, but in hindsight of the stereotypes that I see a lot of Hanzo players being relegated to, i.e. insta-locking and being overly aggressive, the choice to give Hanzo the skin of one of the most headstrong characters in the Three Kingdoms feels a little too on the nose, don't you think? Also, this makes me wonder if this might be a hint that Hanzo will eventually join the reformed Overwatch initiative. I mean, Huang Zhong went through a good number of superiors before he finally joined up with Liu Bei. God, that still makes me wonder about this possible Liu Bei-Jack Morrison connection.
Well, sit tight, we got 2 more to go. Next, let's follow up with one of Overwatch's longest standing members, Torbjorn, and his skin of Zhang Fei. And this is yet again another match made in heaven. As we previously mentioned, Zhang Fei and Guan Yu were the first of Liu Bei's generals, and the three swore an oath of brotherhood to each other in order to build a better, brighter world. Well, guess who were 2 of the 6 founding members of Overwatch? Yeah, Torbjorn and Reinhardt. But that's only where the connections just get started. Zhang Fei's capacities of combat and strategy was comparable only to Guan Yu. But unlike Guan Yu, Zhang Fei had a bit of a temper problem and had no issue in cruelly punishing insubordination and treachery. Sound familiar? And let's not forget too that the Romance of the Three Kingdoms has also painted Zhang Fei as a troubled alcoholic, which eventually led to his downfall. Not pointing fingers here, but yeah.
Wow, it's like looking into a mirror at this point.
Well, to be fair to Torbjorn, he's always at least had his heart in the right place when it comes to his subordinates, unlike Zhang Fei, who was actually assassinated by one of his officers after they got sick of his cruelty. But I think we've kind of made the point clear. Choosing Zhang Fei as Torbjorn's New Year skin was an absolute no-brainer. It's just too bad I really can't say the same for Zenyatta's inspired skin of Zhuge Liang.
Well, what's wrong with it?
I wouldn't say it's wrong, it just doesn't quite click nearly as well as the others. See, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms paints him as one of the most intelligent men in all of China, and an indispensable advisor to Liu Bei, earning himself famous and infamous titles like the Sleeping Dragon and the Crouching Tiger. A man who spent many of his years in seclusion, but was known, loved, and feared by many. In fact, so wise was he in matters of politics, logistics, and Confucian theology that he was eventually made Prime Minister of Shu, the state that was founded by Liu Bei. On top of all this, Zhuge Liang wasn't just a crafty politician, but an extravagant tactician. The Romance of the Three Kingdoms would compare him to the likes of Sun Tzu, the guy who literally wrote the book on war. Not a bad guy to have on Team Liu Bei. Though it took Liu 3 individual visits before he would actually join his cause. but that just goes to show how important it was to Liu Bei to have him on his side.
Neat! So what does that have to do with Zenyatta?
Not much. I mean, yeah, Zenyatta is a brilliant theologian with his understanding of the iris and the pseudo-Buddhist principles that come with it, but politician? Tactician? Master of logistics? Yeah, that honestly couldn't be any further from Zenyatta's personality and character. I get that Blizzard was likely just thinking, who's a really smart hermit-like character that has a lot of inspiration from East Asia? Zenyatta? Cool, let's roll with it. Again, nothing to really get upset about. I just think it's kind of an aw moment considering how closely associated the other characters were with their Three Kingdoms skins.
Yeah, and Zenyatta's not even mildly associated with Overwatch, where Zhuge Liang seems to be Liu Bei's intellectual right-hand man. Speaking of, can we finally put this theory to bed? There are so many parallels when it comes to all these characters and their Three Kingdoms skins, and surprisingly, they not only connect between their characters' attributes and skill sets, but also their relation to Liu Bei, Overwatch, and Jack. There is no doubt in my mind that Morrison is the Liu Bei of this whole group, so show me that skin, dude.
You sure you really want to see what Soldier got?
Absolutely.
Alright, this is what Soldier got for the brand spanking new Year of the Pig event in Overwatch.
That's it?
That's it, buddy. And that's all the time we got for today, so thanks for watching. You know what, you were right. I did feel good about doing another Overwatch video. I know there's still a lot more that could be said about these characters, but lordy, I need like 3 more videos to cover all of that. Plus, I haven't even touched the Korean side of things when it comes to this Overwatch update. So if I can find the time, I'll be sure to cover it more, but we'll just have to see. Otherwise, if you've missed out on the past videos I've done for the Lunar New Year event in Overwatch, be sure to check those out. We've covered everything from the 4 celestial protectors of China's cosmos to another great literary work of the country, Journey to the West. And don't forget, if you want to check out some culture and gaming analysis live, be sure to swing by our streams at twitch.tv/Gaijin Goombah. But until next time, everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.